Hi, my name is Anne, and today I'm going to show you how to submit a petition, a supervisor and supervisory committee submission, as well as a proposal milestone using the FGS portals. So I'm going to share my screen, and first I'll show the Graduate Studies portal page itself. So here there are tabs, and if you click on student, it will give you a look at the portals that are available. So the graduate student petition portal, if you click this button, you'll be able to enter that. There's also a student user guide here and some rules and regulations. If I click on that, it'll bring me to a section that talks about what a petition is. And below that, if you scroll down, there's also a list of our petition types. I'm going to go down and show you the leave of absence petitions here and the general leave of absence, because that's the petition that I'm planning on submitting today. And if I click on this downward accordion here, it'll show the regulation for that petition, and it'll also show the required forms and documentations so that when you go to submit your petition, you have this stuff handy and ready. Okay, so I'm going to go into the portals. They're all up and down here on the left, but if you click on the buttons that I showed you on the portal page, it brings you directly into each portal. So I suggest approaching it like that. Here I'll launch a new petition, click that box, and I get a message letting me know that I can save it for up to 10 days. There's also a section here describing the different types of petitions. If I use the dropdown, you can select retroactive petition or petition. For a leave of absence, a retroactive petition would be one that is to be effective for the term that we're currently in or a previous term that's already passed. So right now we're in fall term. And so if I wanted to submit a petition for this fall term, I would need to select retro petition. In this example, I'm going to select a regular petition as I'm going to petition in advance. I'm also going to just review this, just indicates that I've checked with my graduate program assistant and director before submitting. So I'm going to check that, and you'll notice this box here becomes available. So I'm going to press execute. And it just takes a minute. It's pulling my information. And here I will click it, submit petition. Here I have a list of petition types, and I'll scroll down. And I'm going to select the leave of absence, the general. And these are fields that I need to fill out. Up above here is some information that is being pulled from that rule and regulation. And also the required documents that I mentioned earlier. So the number of terms being requested, I'm going to grab one term. And effective term. So I'd mentioned I wanted to petition for something that is going to be effective for the winter term. And the effective year knows that the academic year is 2025 because it's fall of 2025 right now. And then it goes into winter 2026 and summer 2026. And those are part of this academic year 2025, 2026. If I scroll up, I can click on the student information tab. It pulls in my student number. This is a test account, so it's just a pretend student number and first name, last name, and email. It will pull in the YorkU email. And now if you would like the communication to go to a different email, then you can put that here. So for example, I can put in, a Gmail that I like the communications from this portal to go to. It will also go to the YorkU, but it will also include the Gmail. And I can put in a preferred name that I would like as well. And those are just, they're not mandatory fields, they're just optional. Okay, so here's the program tab. I'll click on and it'll show up the program that I'm in. If you're a part-time master's student and a full-time PhD student, then you select the relevant program that you're wanting to petition for. In this case, in my test account, it's just, I'm pretending that I'm a PhD student in gender, women, and feminist and women's studies. The last section here is the document tab. There's just a note encouraging you only to add documents here and that they need to be PDFs. So here's a section for a personal statement. And so I'm going to drag and drop that here. There is a a section here for me to label. So right now, the only thing to label is personal statement. And so that's occurring automatically. If you were dropping multiples, then you'd be asked to label them. Here again, just one supporting document is being requested. So I'm going to put one there. And then you'll notice in the top right that this button becomes available because I filled everything out. And so I'm going to go ahead and press that complete button. Now, these ones down here, the active petition, are things that are in process. So if I scroll over, I'll see a cancel button. So this one I had submitted previously, I might go ahead and cancel it. So I'll hit the execute button and then that goes away. So I'm left with just this petition. There are some dashboards here, like I can drag them. So maybe I have a long or last name or first name, so I can actually just pick them up and drag them and just make things a bit more comfortable for how I want to see them. And then if I scroll over, so there's this little downward pointing arrow beside the cancel button. And if I click on that, it reveals what I call a breadcrumb trail or a progress bar. And here you'll see that the petition has been submitted. I also would have received a confirmation email. And now it is moved forward. It's sitting with the GPD for review and recommendation. And GPD stands for Graduate Program Director. So it's now with your grad program. They're going to have a look at it, and then it will move onward to FGS and then onward from there. So that's a petition. Now, if I went back to this portal page, if I wanted to submit a proposal milestone, I can click there. Again, that will bring me directly to this that I've just clicked on, which is the proposal milestone portal. I've got this button here, launch a new proposal milestone. This is one here that I had previously launched. So again, I'm going to hit the cancel button just to show you what that looks like in this portal. But basically things that appear here under the proposal milestone in progress are things that you've submitted and are in progress. And things that appear up here are something that you're working on and haven't yet submitted. So I'm going to launch a new proposal milestone. I'm going to press execute, and it just welcomes me to the proposal milestone portal. I'm going to go ahead and press that. And it comes up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then there's mandatory fields here for me to fill out. The student number, first name, last name, email, those are being pulled in automatically. Again, I have the option of leaving a preferred first name and also a preferred email. Program, again, it knows I'm a PhD student in the Gender, Feminist, and Women's Studies program, and that's affiliated with the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Professional Studies, or what people call LAPS. Okay, so if I scroll down here, this is a free text. So you put in the research proposal title. In this case, I'm just going to put test because this is just a test. And I am a PhD student, so this means that I'm submitting a dissertation proposal. Type of research, if you go back to the proposal milestone section, and if you scroll to the bottom here, you will get some information about the different types of research, the necessary forms, the path that these take. But if I go back in here, I can use the dropdown. And for this one, I'm going to select a type A, which means that I'm not doing research that involves human participants or animals, no biohazards or secondary data analysis. So I'm going to click that. If I wanted more information about these types, I can click here on the research types. Okay, scrolling down, a planned thesis or dissertation format. So here I'm going to click manuscript based. You can click on these if you want a bit more information about the various types. I need to answer a couple of questions here about the risks involved to the researcher. So it's asking if I'm traveling outside of Canada. In this case, I'm going to say no, I'm doing my research here. And if the proposal involves some sort of elevated risk to myself, health and safety concerns, etc., I would need to click yes. For this test, I'll click no. You may be prompted then to drop additional documentation depending on your answers above. For more information about risk, you can click here. And this box here, it says just indicate the names of your supervisor and your committee members, and it has some examples. So I'm going to write down the name Amir Carter of who I'm going to say is my supervisor. Again, these are just test names here. Sienna Brown, I'm going to say is my committee member. And then I'll put, I'm doing a dissertation. So for my program, I need an additional committee member. I'm going to say that I'm working with someone named Jessica Zhao here. So again, I'll put committee member there. Okay. And then I'm going to leave that for now. Again, it's a free text box. So you put the people that you're working with. I'm going to scroll up. And the last thing here that I need to submit is the documents. So in this case, it's just asking me to upload my dissertation, my dissertation proposal. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, put it there. It's asking for a PDF. Now everything has been filled out, so the complete button, it becomes available. If I wanted to just save it and come back to it, I could do that. Or if I hadn't completed everything, I could hit the save button and then I could get a little more information just in terms of what I've missed. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that there. And now it's going to show over here, it's sitting with my GPA now. So if I go on that down button, I can scroll across so I can see that I've submitted the proposal and it's now sitting with my graduate program assistant for them to review. And then it will move onward, in this case, to my supervisor and committee members for them to have a look before the GPD gets it. GPD again stands for Graduate Program Director. I'll go onward to FGS, including the dean. We'll have a look. So that's that's the proposal milestone. And the last one I'm going to show today is the supervisor and supervisory committee. That's called SSC for short. And here is the portal. But again, if I had gone back to that grad portal page and I click on this button, it's going to bring me directly into that portal. So here I am on the left-hand side. I've got one in progress here, but I'm going to launch a new one. So launch a new SSC request. I'm going to click that execute button and wait a minute while it just pulls my student information. So here I am. And again, I can put a preferred name, preferred email. It's pulling in my program. And now this is the part for me to fill out. So it says, please provide the names and roles of your desired supervisory team. Okay, and you have to have a supervisor as part of your request. So again, I'll put the same folks. So, and before I submit my proposal milestone, I should add, I should already have established a committee. So this is just doing things a little backwards in this case for demonstration purposes, but you should already have that committee, the supervisor, the committee members on file before you'd be submitting your proposal milestone. So yeah, I'm just going to add those same folks in here, and they're free text boxes, so I can put the names of the people that I am working with, and then I'm going to add again their roles. This becomes available. So let's say, oops, I put the wrong person. You can click that X, and yeah, I just back out and put somebody else. So maybe the whole thing needs to be removed. I can just click that button. So, okay, I'll go ahead and press the complete button. And that's it for this one. This one now moves onward to your graduate program assistant is going to have a look at it, and then it will go on to that supervisory review. So all the people that are incoming, anybody that's existing on your committee isn't going to be looking at this, but the new incoming people are going to get it and be formally asked if they were willing to serve on your committee. Then it goes onward from there to your GPD, and then to FGS, and then it gets completed. And when it's completed, it'll be coded on your student record. Okay, so that's it for a demo here today.